There is one missing persons case that haunts me to this day, and it's the case of the Lost Boys. In Pickering, Ontario, my own province, on St. Paddy's Day, 1995, all 6 of these boys, men, went missing. You'd think, hey, a casual, fun St. Paddy's Day, let's party. Video surveillance last saw all of these boys breaking into a marina. That's the last clip the surveillance ever picked up. Since that day, over 2 decades ago, not a single sight, not a single clue as to where any of these boys have gone. Family and everyone has searched forever, but it's like they evaporated. There's been tons of clues and rumors, but nothing significant or true. How is it possible that 6 people just poof? Every year on the date, the family gets together and has a memorial. Did they steal and sink a boat? Years later, shoes of Jay were found in Niagara, but nothing was able to be extracted. What do you think happened? If you know anything, reach out to your local police.
After the bombs fell, one man was locked in Vault 77 completely alone. It was an experiment to see how humans react to isolation. 1 hour after being let inside, he was banging on the vault door thinking they must have left everybody else outside. 4 months into his isolation, all he could do was sit in front of the vault door and sob. That's when he discovered a box of puppets that Vault-Tec had put in there with him. Months with the puppets, and he had given them all their own personalities. And driven crazy by isolation, he began to treat them like real people. Then he found this last puppet in the box. Eventually, somehow, he had convinced himself that this puppet killed the king puppet, so they had to get out of there. The other puppets would hurt them. So he managed to get the door open, and he left Vault 77. He met ghouls and mutant ants. He was even kidnapped and warned them that the puppet kills, and has killed before. And he did. That's when we get the eerie reminder the vaults were never supposed to save anyone. In Fallout 3, you can find a Vault 77 suit next to a holotape. The holotape talks about how they should just destroy the suit, because even 200 years later, people still fear the puppet man.
Is Cardi B being controlled by the Illuminati? We need to talk about this. Okay, so basically the theory goes that Cardi B went from being a normal woman to being mind-controlled or even possessed by the Illuminati for fame. Now, before you scroll, I thought this was crazy until I saw these really weird things that were lining up. Okay, first I'm gonna show you this video of her singing a song in Spanish about a year before she blew up and became famous.
Pero no voy a caer. No entiendo. Bye con el flow luminari.
Now translated into English, she was saying, I'm not fooling around, I'm not gonna let myself fall down, I don't understand, just go with the Illuminati. And coincidentally, a year later, she comes out with Bodak Yellow and gets famous overnight. And if you didn't know, this is the Illuminati sign, and she's literally doing it on the cover. Now this video I'm about to show you is literally crazy. Literally just watch. Now, many think for a split second the Illuminati's possession over her stops. But the creepiest part are these girls in the back. Like they're watching her and then they just look super guilty. And that's the conspiracy.
This is La Llorona. La Llorona originated in Mexico, but she is known all across Latino America. La Llorona translates to the weeping woman because she drowned her children one by one in a river, and she roams around at night as a ghost asking people, ¿Dónde están mis hijos? Where are my children? If La Llorona approaches you, asking you where her children are, it is very important that you say this. Enséñame esas nalgas jugosas, mami. It is an ancient chant that will protect you. Stay safe, guys.
The Scariest Things Police Have Seen, Episode 51. This story was sent to me on Instagram by the son of a police officer in the Manchester Police Force. There is a 300-year-old abandoned mansion that is still fitted with an alarm system to keep out intruders. One night the alarm went off and this officer met up with the K9 unit in front of the house. The dog was described as being very tough and not scared of a thing, but it refused to go near the house. The officers searched the entire inside and found nothing but dead crows and dead rats. After the house was clear, they went outside to check on the dog. It was whining and staring up at the house. The officers followed the dog's line of sight and saw it was looking at an attic window. Inside the window, the officers could see a man wearing Victorian-era clothing staring back at them. For a moment, they stared at each other until the man took a step backwards and out of sight. The officer rushed back inside, looking for the man. Again, no one was found.
Okay, here's some of the most messed up movies I've ever seen that are actually good movies. Up first, we have Eden Lake. After a couple goes on a romantic trip, they get terrorized by a bunch of kids. This movie will make you really hate these group of kids. It has a few graphic scenes, and this movie will definitely piss you off. Up next, we have Midsummer. It's about a girl who gets invited to her boyfriend's trip to Sweden. This movie has a few graphic scenes, but the overall story is messed up. This director is really good at symbolism and foreshadowing. It's a great film. Up next, we have Martyrs. Now, this is the second most messed up movie I have ever seen. It's very graphic and very intense throughout the whole film. I only recommend this movie for people who truly love messed up and disturbing films. And last but not least, Jacob's Ladder. Now, this one is truly one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. It's about a man who comes back from a Vietnam War. This movie's a great mind bender and a great horror movie.
Okay, let's go.
Ever wondered what would happen if you stopped sleeping?
Well, in this human experiment, we find out, and the results are terrifying. During World War II, the Russians wanted to find a way to keep their soldiers awake for longer. They came up with this awful experiment where they took prisoners of war, put them in a gas chamber, and then exposed them to experimental drugs. They wanted to see how long they could stay awake for. Initially, the drugs seemed great. During the first few days, the participants seemed irritated, but acted mostly normal. But that changed. On the 5th day, participants stopped interacting with each other. They were starting to become extremely annoyed. On the 9th day, one of the participants screamed for so long that he tore his vocal cords. And on the 14th day, this is what they looked like. Just warning you, it's pretty graphic. By this point, participants started eating themselves. On the 15th day, the experimenters had no choice but to turn the gas off. At this point, they all screamed in pain before falling asleep and passing away. For more 7 Sins Crime, hit that plus button.
Scariest Things Captured on Security Cameras Part 4. The clip you're about to see is from a home security system that was installed by the homeowners. When the homeowners woke up and they saw a text message saying that there was something captured on the home security system the next morning, curious as to obviously what the camera captured, they were very shocked as to what they saw. I'm about to roll the clip. If you guys enjoy it, be sure to like and follow if you want more.
Would just stare at the camera, completely motionless, or in one case, tear apart a pumpkin. This footage was very unsettling, with the clown staring at the camera the entire time.
Can you do the Hello Kitty murders, please? Yes. Let me just say I had no idea what this case was until you asked me to do it, and I looked it up. Apparently, it's a super popular case. In Hong Kong in 1997, this woman right here, Fan Man Yi, stole a wallet with several $1,000s in it from her then boyfriend, Chan Man Lok. Fan Man Yi was working as a hostess at a nightclub, and this is where the two met. Although she was working at this nightclub, she was also working as a prostitute, and she was addicted to drugs. It turns out Chan Man Lok was a drug dealer and a pimp, so the two immediately hit it off. Later in 1997 in Hong Kong, Fan Man Lee stole Chan Man Lok's wallet with several $1,000s inside. He enlisted 2 of his guys, Xing Cho and Wai Lun, to kidnap Fan Man Yi, and he intended to force her back into prostitution so that he could make the money back that she had stolen from him. This plan, however, got very out of hand. Follow for part 2.